amber turds. Stained blanket, that's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning.
Greetings and good morning, everybody out there in YouTube land. How you doing? It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning, just like the song promised. And hopefully you're doing well. It's Friday. That's right. A lot of kids are back to school. It's the last weekend before Labor Day. We've got Scribe Light here. How you doing?
Doing all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. We have Paul shoving stuff into his face with a cow watching over him.
Moo.
Is it a bull or a cow?
That's a
Highland
Highland Coo.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the W.
No, it doesn't. It's a COO.
It's a coo,
Chief
not a
Operating
cow.
Officer. Highland Coo.
It's a woolly cow.
Yeah.
It's a woolly cow. Oh, so it has the same rank as me, basically. It's a COO. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then we got Chris here as well from Bleeding Fool. How you doing, Chris?
Hello. I'm here.
There's
for you.
another Chris.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
right.
And Andre should be along shortly. He's just dealing with something quick, but he should be here before you know it. But good morning, everybody out there in YouTube land. Before we get started, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Snarky to Stink sending in $1.99 to say, thanks for the content and hail Midnight's Edge chat. Well, thank
Like it
you for
rained.
that. We like that. And then Toga Free's in the house. How you doing, Toga Free? Says, I know you all aren't Pokemon fans. Well, I don't hate Pokemon. I just never got into it. It was a little past my time.
I love
But love-
Pokeballs.
There you go. See, but love the new Mega Evolution trailer. Pokemon Plus Horror works well. Can't wait. Well, it sounds like it's going to be fun for you fans. That's great. Hey, Pokemon is something that I don't say negative stuff about. I'll goof about it or joke about it, but every time something Pokemon comes out, it beats whatever is going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It just, there's no sense in even trying to say, oh, Pokemon, that's going to fail. It's like, no, it's not.
It's like Minecraft.
Yep. Can't beat it. Hyperguyver 2 says, feels weird knowing that Redhead was just cast as a Scottish woman and not a BIPOC. They, them. Too bad they got the guy who likes pearl necklaces.
Oh boy.
All right, so what is this about? This is about Carrie Gilliam playing Heather in the new Highlander remake, I believe. And yeah, so there you go. So good casting there, Carrie Gilliam. In fact, you brought her up just before the show, Paul.
Yep. She's one of my favorites that I would leave my wife for.
She's your movie wife.
And I'm sure Karen would leave whoever for you too.
Absolutely, especially with the size of my YouTube channel. Although my wife and I have an agreement that if Pierce Brosnan comes to the door and says, we're going, I have to let her go. That's the agreement.
Understandable. Speaking of Pierce Brosnan, did you see he said he'd come back for Bond if they wanted him?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Sure.
I love the idea of an old Bond, creaky Bond, sort of like Miller's Dark Knight, where you've got a creaky old Batman.
Mm-hmm.
We still haven't gotten that.
Well,
Mark Miller probably should write something like that.
I was just saying, Mark Miller, had
Not Mark,
the King of Spies, which is
he did Dark
basically
Knight?
that. Yeah.
No.
No, well, that was Frank Miller.
Frank
But
Miller.
Mark Miller wrote a book called King of Spies that was basically going to be a
Right.
Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, old and grizzled. But I don't know if he just couldn't get the rights or just said F it and just did his own version. But yeah, he did. And then you could tell by looking at the comic, it's clearly old man Pierce Brosnan. It's kind of cool, but yeah.
I meant Frank Miller, but yeah, I mean, we still
Yeah,
haven't.
I know who you were talking about.
We still haven't got the. We still haven't gotten the classic Dark Knight story.
No, there were glimpses of it in both Nolan and the BBS movie, but
Mm-hmm.
that's
Well,
about it.
what's his name stole quite a bit of it. Burton,
Schneider.
and then,
Yeah, Burton
then
did use
didn't
some
do
of it,
anything
yeah.
with it.
Yeah, that's true.
I was disappointed about that. That kind of disappointed me when I went, oh well, this is going to be Dark Knight. No, it's not. Oh well,
It's kind of weird how they've not done it. I don't.
it
get
is. It's such a
It will be
great
done
story.
at some point.
Well, especially with movies like F1 and even Top Gun Maverick. You've got the old grizzled version coming back for one last. Yeah, it just makes sense now. And now maybe the timing was never right.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see what happens with that, because I think Netflix actually owns the rights to that King of Spies thing, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean they can't pull in.
Hey, Timothy
like-
Dalton, come on.
Yeah, well, that's what Andre was saying
Yeah,
the other day
exactly.
was we could do this whole thing where you bring back all the living Bonds and, making everything canon, and this whole idea that, and well, here he is, he can say
There he
himself
is,
that
making
basically
that himself, yeah.
Bond is just a name and a number that's given to whoever the next
But they
agent
weren't
is.
cohorts.
No.
Where were we?
Hey,
We're talking about the Pierce Brosnan as James Bond thing.
Oh,
They're-
that
they-
thing.
they
Okay,
were-
because I just saw the super chat. So yeah.
Well, we hadn't got to the super chat yet. It's still
Okay,
mixing
right.
around.
Yeah, so I was just ahead of time then. Yeah. No, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
the idea because
Sure.
of that thing, because I kind of wish that Amazon would get it and do it, because that way they can canonize the entire concept of 007 James Bond. Is not just a code number, it's also a code name, because that way you can have everything be canon. Now you can have it so that the official continuation of Pierce Brosnan's James Bond is this graphic novel that they could adapt, and that would make it so much easier to reboot James Bond in a new and exciting way, where you can have the odd cameo appearance of former James Bonds and some former James Bond villains, maybe. I mean, I see nothing wrong with it. I see that as a fresh, cool way of doing it. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, I think it's fun. There was a, I like to talk about fan edits sometimes, and there was one called Die, Spy, Kill, Kill. And it had every James Bond actor cut together from scenes in all the movies to make a new movie. It was kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
I dropped a link about it in the chat. So,
Yeah. Fan edits are either or. Some are
oh,
beyond-
most or.
most or.
Yeah.
But the ones that knock it out of the park, they really knock it out of the park. I mean, it doesn't happen often.
Well,
You
and
have,
AI
like,
is gonna. Oh,
you
sorry,
say.
Andre, go ahead.
Yeah. No, and with AI, I'm looking forward to Romance of the Pink Panther starring Peter Sellers.
Well, like I said, I already had somebody who's been sending me what he's been doing to cut out the playground scene in Daredevil.
There you
I said
go.
because I said that director's cut would be perfect if they could just find a way to get rid of that. The only problem is there's a few bits of dialogue that you need. So what this individual's been doing is recutting it into another scene with AI. And I'm like, that might just work. They just need that dialogue. That's all you need. You don't need anything else, because that scene is so stupid. Otherwise, it feels so out of place in the rest of the film. But otherwise, the movie's great. In fact, I would even argue that Rain Kiss almost rivals Spider-Man's in some ways. I mean, it's not as good, but it's damn close. Like, they did a good job with that, in my opinion. And that scene with the lead up to them, the final battle, I think was just one of the best filmed scenes I've seen in a comic book movie to that point. It was just really great, because we all knew it was coming if you knew the comics, right?
We're talking about Daredevil and
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm like, are they going to do it? When I was watching it in the movie theater, I'm like, I don't mean sex. I mean, are they going to kill her? I'm like watching this movie going, holy shit, they're going to do it. like they're setting it all up and everything. I'm like, holy shit. And then when she died on screen, I'm like, fuck yeah, they did it. So I was kind of impressed with that. I was not as upset with Daredevil as most people were. And then when I saw the director's cut, I was like, finally, they fixed it. Although it's still got that shit scene in it. But anyway, speaking of fixing things, something that'll probably never get fixed. Dark King asks for $2 Australian. Any news on the Witcher series? Did it get axed? No, I think don't they have another season left on their contract deal or whatever they're doing?
Yeah, that's the one with the poor man's Chris Hemsworth.
Liam
his brother.
Hemsworth, yeah.
Yes, that's the one.
I think it's just disappeared. They're not doing anything. I don't think Netflix wants it.
Well, they confirmed a final season. They're being filmed back in season 4, I thought.
Netflix is never in a hurry to get anything done, though, are they?
I don't know.
They'd be better off Batgirling it, I think.
I think they're just letting it disappear. I haven't heard a thing about it.
Oh no, neither have
Well,
I.
could
but
be
again,
right.
But when you never hear a thing about it, that either means it's suddenly going to show up in quiet,
Yeah.
or it's really dead. It can be one of those two, and the only difference is the amount of time it takes before you move on, basically.
Are
Yeah,
you
'cause
telling me that no one is going to be around available to have seen it being shot?
Yeah.
We're not getting anything. There's no set noise from the show.
Well, I was being reminded they shot the 2 seasons back to back. That's why. So I think they shot them both at the same time.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
So
I mean,
they're
that's the
already
word.
shot,
They haven't
but
said
that doesn't
anything
mean they
about it.
will show. But yeah.
Well, they haven't said anything about it since February. So that was when they announced, or the end of January was when they announced it. So who knows?
Well,
Who
we'll have
cares,
to see.
really? I'm not watching.
Yeah, that's the thing is they lost so much of the audience. I think what little few people that were going to stick around, we're just seeing for. We're basically just like, it's like a train wreck at that point.
Yeah,
you tell
yeah.
people there's going to be a
Some
train
people
wreck,
are-
they'll go see it.
Well, some people are completists. I'm a completist. If I start some series, by golly, I've got to watch every episode all the way to the bitter
True.
end. And it is a rare thing for me to tap out on something and just say, nope, just not going to finish it. I
See,
did
if
that
more
with
pe-
She-Hulk. So
If more people were like you, no show would get canceled. See,
Listen,
that's the thing.
we just have to remember that the creators of, not the creators, but the producers of The Witcher created that awful Blood Origin, and they promoted it as finally the version of The Witcher that should have originally been made.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, they
We,
did that.
we the
That's
producers, are avoiding all the stuff from the author and Cavill and finally making the right kind of Witcher. And it was dreadful. It
Thank you
was
for that
a
reminder.
horrible series.
no, tapped out.
Yeah, I don't understand the arrogance of these people saying we don't like the original author, and I don't know why we even bought the property, but we're going to,
We're going to show everyone how it should be done, showing everyone our
right.
brilliance.
Even though we have no experience, we've never written any of the books. Just the arrogance of these people is just.
I'm guessing everybody here saw the Variety story yesterday about the Disney saying, "Hey, maybe we ought to get some male centric stories going again. Maybe we need
Oh yeah, well, that's one of the stories
boy.
I got sitting up here that I was
Okay.
going to possibly get into. But yeah,
We'll
we'll
Old
definitely
news
get
for
into
us.
that for sure.
What a shock!
No kidding.
What a shock!
Yeah, shock indeed. But let's move on here.
Yeah,
You got your $2 worth on that.
you
Dark.
did definitely. We got Dr. Longdongler sending in £1.99 to remind you to pound that like button if you hadn't done it already. Thank you very much. I don't know why I went Southern, but I did.
Okay. Well,
All right. I say Soul Nightmare here says I liked Peacemaker season 1, but I loved season 2 episode 1.
Well.
There you go. That's a very big praise. We're going to talk about that as well in just a few moments. Hopefully all the men on the panel have seen it. I know Andre and myself, and I think Scribe
Season
have.
1. I have not dipped into season 2 yet.
Oh, I visited it, 3 weeks ago, Andre? You sent it to me?
No, 3, I think.
Something like that. And I couldn't wait for this show. This was great. So I'm digging it. Did you see it? You see it too? You saw it too, Paul. I saw your review already.
Peacemaker, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, calling it now, Peacemaker 2 scene is multiverse BS. Well, we got an answer to a lot of questions. We're going to get into that. M. Miller says, rumor is they're going to finish Star Trek 5 with AI.
Great. Why
Didn't we
not?
already get Star Trek 5?
That actually would be a good use of AI, come to think of it, because
You mean like on
William
the unfinished shit?
William Shatner's proper director's cut.
The Rock Monster!
Yes, exactly. The Rock Monsters.
We were supposed to have a bunch of rock monsters. I get there on the day. There's one. I
like
can't have an army of rock monsters with just one.
I liked your Foghorn Leghorn.
Is that your way of saying my Shatner's not as good?
I'm being sweet.
That was my mid-level Shatner. See, he's got different ages. You got young Shatner who's down here like this. The one everybody does.
It's almost
Then you
like
got-
you're doing a Leonard Nimoy.
You got mid-level
make-
Shatner, which is
it's
around here.
like Nimoy doing an impression of Shatner is what you're
Well,
doing.
people don't think about how Shatner's voice actually sounds. They want to hear the Kevin Pollak, go to the, that's what they want to hear. But if you actually listen to his voice, that's not what it sounds like. And that's why Shatner's like, I don't sound like that. Because he doesn't. If you actually listen to his voice, they're just taking the way he talks kind of and exaggerating it. Young
Well-
Shatner's got, he's more down here like this. Middle Shatner's around here like this. Now, new Shatner, old Shatner, he's down here like this and Priceline.com.
But he does use this technique, which I subsequently stole when I was auditioning for commercials. And after I stole that technique, I won every single job. And when you go in for a cold read, you've got to show people that you're acting and you know how to act, right? But the trick was, rather than reading it from period to period, I would do the Shatner technique, which was go from the end in the middle of every sentence and then go to the middle of the next sentence and end it. So I put my periods in the middle of each sentence. So, and that just immediately as a technique makes everyone in the room think you're acting. Like, it's a really neat technique. And I landed every single job. It works.
That's cool.
It worked beautifully. And that's what Shatner does. Shatner sounds like Shatner, not because he talks like this necessarily, but because he puts the periods into the middle of sentences.
Most Shatner impressions to me sound like people doing impressions of Kevin Pollak doing
Sure.
Shatner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what's
that's
wrong with
basically
that?
That's what I was getting at, Scribe, is most people are doing that.
Yeah.
There's
Kinda
a
like,
bit of-
you know-
there's a bit of truth in it.
Absolutely. You know, and sometimes that's how I learn how to do certain
Yeah,
voices
other
is by
people who
listening
crack
to
the
somebody
code.
else do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear an impersonator crack the code, and then you go, "Oh, that's how to do it." Yeah, no,
Simply-
I've been there.
No, Paul and I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know totally.
We're the
what
only
you're
two.
talking about.
Horseradish Power says, looked at Silent Hill on IMDb. Scary. It might be a pitch perfect Silent Hill 2 adaptation. It will appear January 2026. Eevee template. Well, this is your domain, Andre.
Is that Templeton
Yeah.
or template? I don't know an EV template.
Might be a misspelling.
EV template. I'm not quite sure what EV template refers to. So probably maybe it's a character in the movie. I don't recall the character names. But anyway, I'm a huge fan of Silent Hill, the original movie. Never played Silent Hill the game. Not gonna play it either. It's not on the Sega Mega Drive. But I do love the Silent Hill movie. I think it's not just one of the best video game movies out there. Of course, I can't compare it to the video game, but it's also just one of the best horror movies out there, period. I love it not as a video game adaptation, but as an incredibly atmospheric horror movie. And Return to Silent Hill, this one actually has the original director, Christoph Gans, returning to do an original sequel that ignores the movie that was made in between there. So I'm very excited for Return to Silent Hill. That actually has been finished for a long time as well, and it's been sitting in the can. And now we'll just have to wait and see how it is. But I'm excited for it because the first one was just that good.
Evie Templeton is the actress who plays Laura in this, and she's got those big alien eyes that some actresses have these days that get them a lot of attention. She's got huge
Okay.
eyes.
Well, cool for her, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it either way. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. That's one movie I'm actively looking forward to.
All right. And then we got, let's see here, a couple more. We got Jason Webster, who says a great year for Netflix, great success in K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, they're kicking ass with that. Happy Gilmore 2, another one that they're doing very, 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 very well with. And K-Dramas, Squid Games 3, and Trauma Code, Heroes on Call. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Horseradish Power says Templeton should, so it was Templeton, yes, should knock it out of the park as Lula, if I'm saying that right.
Laura.
Laura, there's supposed to be an R there, see?
Yeah.
She is a creepy redhead in Wednesday season 2. Really am now interested in seeing this film now. Well, there you go. They got something for the fans. Jesus Davila says, has anyone seen the Good Boy horror movie trailer? I've
Yep.
seen some stuff on it, but yeah, we're curious to see how it turns out. Yeah.
The trailer is suitably scary.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, and then Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, nice to hear Carrie Gillian cast for Highlander. Now, if they only cast... No, don't you give them ideas.
Do not even
You know
say
what's
that
sad,
name.
though? Is Jared Leto would almost be perfect for the Michael Ironside role, though, if they recasted him from the Highlander, too.
Have they announced who's going to play the Kurgan yet?
Yeah, Bautista.
Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
Okay. I was thinking Alan
that's good.
Richard might be a good one.
No, which is funny because Bautista was already meant to play him in the last iteration of this. So
Mm.
my guess is he just lobbied to stay on board. Is my guess.
He'd be good.
Could be. I'm okay with. Like I said, like Crow. I'm kind of like, we'll see. But the rest of the
He can
cast so
act.
far, he can act, but he's gonna be like fat Ramirez.
So
Are we talking about Batista?
no,
No,
we're
no,
not
no.
talking about
Russell
Diego
Crowe.
or anything.
Oh, okay.
I still
Batista's
think
got
it was a
that
huge
weird
mistake.
thing- Batista's got that weird thing on the back of his head. It's just his head is so strangely
you know,
shaped.
He's got to have a
You
wig.
gotta-
He's got to shave his eyebrows and wear a wig.
You got to be careful of your adjectives, Tom, because a huge mistake was Pedro playing Reed Richards. That's huge mistake. Russell Crowe
You're
playing
true.
Rodriguez is not huge mistake.
As far as we know,
hyperbole
yeah.
is a bit overwrought here.
But then you say that now, and then we see the movie, and he's sitting there, and it's
Yeah,
supposed to be
But
Scotland,
if
and
we're just
400
if we're
years
just
ago, and he's
thinking
drinking a
about it
beer.
now.
And
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, we'll
maybe-
get back to that then. I have to agree with
I know.
with.
I know, I'm just picking.
But
But all right, let's get to some real news here.
Yeah.
We got some real news to talk about because we saw Peacemaker last night, as Chris has here on his.
Oh yeah, and I like your hyperbole, Tom. Keep it up.
I do too. So most of us saw it, but Chris, sounds like,
Isn't that funny? Ironic.
Don't you think?
isn't it ironic? Don't you think? But
after
yes.
12 here, by the way.
So let's start with you, Paul. Since you dropped a review already, let's spoil your review. What did you think of Peacemaker season 2 episode? Well, first of all, tell us what you thought of the first season overall. Then tell us what you thought of Peacemaker.
Well, I
season
loved
2 episode.
season 1. To me, it was a real joy to watch.
Yeah, and you're welcome for me recommending it to you.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't planning on it. Yeah, I really enjoyed season 1. I thought it was a good mix of all the different things that would make for a good modern superhero show. And again, it was a continuation of the James Gunn movie
Suicide Squad.
That's Suicide Squad.
and I know that ended with Flag getting killed, right? And then, I mean, what a terrifically deranged hero Peacemaker is. I kill for peace, and I'll kill as many people as I need to get peace. And he's got daddy issues, and his dad was fantastic. I mean, it really turned out well, and his relationship with the big black lesbian, I found really good. I thought that was a great relationship. Yeah, and then I think episode 1, season 2 was kind of a catch up. I kind of made fun of the fact that it's been almost 4 years, 3 years and 7 months since the first season. I don't know how you can do that. I made fun of I used it as an opportunity to slag the whole streaming zeitgeist of waiting years before each season, and then they give you this meager 8 episodes. So was it worth waiting almost 4 years for this particular episode? No, I didn't think it was. I thought, it's the sad sack Peacemaker crew. They're all deranged. That was all fun. You now have the Justice Gang involved, and I thought that was marginally funny. But the main thing is that this is a setup show. Show 1 it's all set up. Up until the very end, where actually something happens, and I'm concerned about the fact that his dad's quantum expansion room has kind of turned into a multiple dimension access room. And okay, that's what we need now. More of that. We need we need another TVA. We need another pocket universe. These are all plot device killers because you do whatever you want when you need to do it. No one ever earns anything. As soon as something bad happens, you can pop them into another time or space. And so, my opinion of the show, apart from it being I'm somewhat mediocre overall, uninteresting, just took a bit of a nosedive because of this this multiverse aspect to it. And then there was that weird orgy sequence where I don't know what its origin was. I don't know whether Peacemaker invited the people, but there was a lot of angry boobs and penises, and maybe this was just one of the HBO mandatory things. Put nudity in the show. Didn't have to make
They
any
did similar shit in the first one.
Pardon me, what?
They did similar shit in the first one, and
I
they even
can't
talk
remember.
about his sexual deviancy in the first one, and he doesn't deny it. So
No, he doesn't, but he didn't invite the people. Like, they just suddenly are there.
I thought they were a hallucination at first, or
At
something.
first I
Like there was
thought-
like a coke delusion or something.
No, that would have made sense, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was real.
but it wasn't. No, they were there. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah, because John saw. Anyway. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's my review. I'm waiting for episode 2 to pay this off.
I saw season 1. I liked it all right. I'm not a big DC guy, so a lot of the inside jokes probably went over my head. I haven't seen Superman. I didn't want to have homework to watch this show. But my biggest hang-up was, with this episode at least, who knows what's going to happen to the other ones. I'm with Paul. I don't understand why they keep having to inject multiverse stuff. If my first thought when I saw the trailer and they're talking about multiverse, I'm like, oh, this is going to be however they explain the fact that the first season ended with Superman, Aquaman, Flash, and the now defunct Snyderverse characters showing up. And no, they didn't do that. They just kind of winked and nodded and just reshot that ending scene with the different characters from the current universe. And I thought, oh, well, that's a convenient way to sort of gloss it over. But then I thought, why are we having multiverse stuff then? And it feels really tropey at this point. Like, oh, it's sort of like Man in the High Castle or something. It's like, oh, there's another universe where everything went right. And this is such an old canard. I'm like, not sure how it's going to work. But the one thing that kind of caught me the entire time, aside from the NC-17 orgy scene, which seemed completely out of place and didn't seem funny so much as just shock value, I can't identify with these characters on the emotional level they're trying to make me identify them with because they're all clowns. It is Deadpool the series was the first season, which was made it kind of fun. That was the thing. It was like not serious. It was all goofy. It was very cartoonish. But then they want me to like, oh, well, he's got, these really... And I realized that was part of the first season. But it was also done such tongue-in-cheek that it wasn't real drama to me. It was dramedy. But here, I'm supposed to... I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the season's going to be, but I can't take these characters seriously on an emotional level because they're not human. They murder people. They are cartoons, human cartoons. And so I'm not quite sure where it's going to go or why I'm supposed to care about, oh, he gets to see his brother. And yeah, it's like say that was that by the end of the episode, I was like ... And so
you guys
we'll
still
see,
haven't
I
figured out
suppose.
where this is going to go, huh?
No,
I have a good idea.
And the joy of this group is seeing them dysfunctionally trying to deal with something a lot smaller than a multiverse. And in the first series, they were doing, was dealing with eventually an alien, but it was also just the hidden corruption of Waller's department. And so again, I'm going to go back to the term, a street level, human level superhero stuff. And now it didn't end that way, but if this show had them put together and they're kind of back to doing, not solving crime, but they've got to break up a drug dealer, ring or something like that, and seeing them together in action, being dysfunctional about it, and showing us how they're newly dysfunctional, because what's her name is now way over the top broken, which I think is interesting. But you need to show it in action and in a story. You need to see it within the context of something that they are required to do, and seeing them fuck that up based on the fact that they're dysfunctional and haven't sorted things out. So rather than her just going into a bar and being dysfunctional, that's worthless. It doesn't push this. It doesn't push things along. Give them an assignment. What was the other thing that I talked about? It was, please show me, the Superman movie. I would have loved to have seen him just at the do something Superman-y. Don't dive right into his failure. Like, just give me a bit of Superman-y shit, like at the very beginning. And then have him defeated and, do something. This whole is holding. Maybe this is a gun technique.
We just saw him save the world, though. See, I feel like people are holding him to a higher standard than they ever have anybody before, and this is why I keep
talking about just save the world.
James Gunn in general, because it feels like this that I have here right here on the screen. This is shit from the first season. Like, I get it. I get where some people are griping that it was kind of presented in a way that this is the next step in the DC universe, and I understand that. But like all the things I'm hearing everybody gripe about is like, what show did you guys watch? Because it's a season 2, episode 1 of the show. The only thing that changed was that, Gunn decided to, you know what? Fuck you. All your little people out there that think I'm going to use this show's multiverse stuff to change anything. No, he did it already. This entire show is going to be about getting Chris back to his original universe, which is the original universe we started in.
Okay, but
that's what it's going to be all about. This multiverse thing, this whole thing is probably just going to be to comment on how stupid multiverses is. And when this show is all said and done, this is all going to be tied up with a bow.
Well,
and the next time we see anything multiverse is probably going to be Superman 2 or Supergirl because of Lex Luthor.
But the problem is they gave us nothing to be interested in this first episode. So, for instance, the Justice Gang is interviewing a Peacemaker, and it's kind of a pathetic scene that didn't really play out particularly well. Why not say, okay, we're going to give you an assignment to test your capability, and you got to make sure you're not going to kill the people. And so they send them off, like, as a group. They're now off doing an assignment that the Justice Gang has sent them on as a test. Then at least we've got something. And then he kills everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they spend that interview. They spend that interview highlighting and underscoring all the things that make him an unlikable character.
Right,
he's a murderer.
terrible.
He murders people and everything else. And then they try to, again, I understand. They can't have it both ways. They can't have him be a clown that we're not supposed to take seriously and have fun seeing the ridiculousness he does, but then also take him as some kind of emotional, sympathetic center. I just can't do that in this show. He's either a clown. I'm supposed to take his identity crisis and his moral ambiguity stuff seriously, or I'm not, because he still is killing people. He's still going around doing crazy things. And I don't understand why we need the multiverse thing at all. Like Paul said, this should be small stakes stuff. This is not supposed to, I keep thinking at the end of this series, we're going to have a blue light going into the sky when the multiverse portal explodes or something.
Tom is putting the pieces together, and then, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I see where you all are coming from, and I kind of felt I wasn't as blown away by this episode as I was the first episode of Peacemaker season 1. But this got me interested enough to see where they will go next, what's coming in the next episode. I'm looking forward to that with great anticipation, because there's clearly a much larger story here, which is just being set up. As for them not being just giving an assignment, well, that would assume that they are in good graces, and clearly they are not. They're not getting a good assignment. Peacemaker, he is struggling getting work. So is James Gunn's wife. I didn't agree at all with how she handled herself and how she what she did to feel alive. But I can absolutely understand her frustration. You saw that there. She's blacklisted. She can't get work in anything to do with intelligence or law enforcement. That's the only thing she can do. And now she's unemployable and she has bills piling up. It's just a matter of time before she's going to be evicted. And so she's frustrated. Actually, I think that's very relatable. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. That's kind of like many people are feeling that for different reasons today. So yeah, I disagree on the relatability thing there.
But you could have showed all of that in an action sequence featuring all of them going so over the top that it's a failure.
Yeah, you could do that.
Give us a C or B plot that at least lets us, again, show, don't tell. Now they showed us in the bar, but it was irrelevant. It didn't connect to anything.
You know what would have been good is if they started it out where they're on a mission together, but then Rick Flag Sr. sabotages them behind the scenes because he can't kill Peacemaker outright, but he wants to set him up for the fall later, and so like he's the villain or something. That'd be kind of cool.
I'm all like for that.
Yeah. Thing is, though, I'm going to refer. I'm going to wait with a little bit with judging the story because I don't know yet exactly where they're going. Like now, Tom has a theory there; it could be right, but I feel I don't know enough to say what they could and should have done because we don't know where this is going. So I'll defer judgment for the time being.
Still,
my only other issue.
I've got my network TV hat on. In that all these things that you're talking about are true. But you can't do an entire setup show. You have to give us some B plot, like rescuing kindergartners from, a mass killer, and they end up killing all the children. I mean, something, we can't just see them talk about their failure and walking around in underwear. We need to see it demonstrated yet again why they're losers. We need to see it in action. I didn't understand that. It can be a very small scene. It doesn't have to be huge, but we didn't need the bar scene. Replace the bar scene with them screwing.
Well, how about replace the scene with her going shopping and her card bounces, or the client? Yeah.
And then she freaks out over it. I'd much rather see that.
Yeah. Well. Can't fault that. But the one that really got upset with this thing is Jared Leto, I think, because I think this will go over most people's heads. But James Gunn and Jared Leto, they hate each other and they have publicly been beefing.
Oh,
okay.
And 2 times in this episode, Jared Leto was told to suck it by James Gunn.
Jared Leto is in this episode?
Was no, an Easter egg somewhere?
Yes, twice.
Okay.
There was one band that was trashed in this episode, this very music-heavy series.
30 Seconds to Mars. Right, yes.
30 Seconds to Mars. That's Jared Leto's band.
That's right, okay.
And that was trashed in the episode proper and then in the post-credit scene. That's James Gunn sticking it to Jared Leto right there.
I didn't know they had a beef.
So this is the version of a diss track.
My understanding is James Gunn's one of the reasons why we know he's been hanging out with underage girls because he was basically throwing that shit in his face. So, and that's why I also believe that all the shit that James was saying before was just fucking jokes. But that being said, it's not even like I'm sitting here trying to say that the show's great. Like I didn't love the first season. I thought it was great, but I didn't think it was like stupendous. The way this second season is kicking off, though, I like the tone a little bit better. I see where it's going because I see, like, in my opinion, him going to this other dimension where everything's perfect for him. Notice his Peacemaker over there. Everybody kind of treats his Peacemaker over there like shit, but considering how shitty he's treated in his dimension, he thinks that Peacemaker's treated well. And that Peacemaker over there is more psychotic than he is, if you listen to the way everybody talks. And notice, like, the first thing his Peacemaker wants to do is kill him. Doesn't even think twice. Doesn't even want to listen to any explanation. Is just going to blow his fucking head off. Right? Even though this guy looks just like him, he just assumes he's a shapeshifter or something. Doesn't think twice about it. So I think throughout this show, huh?
When his brother and his dad are shocked at how kind of common together
that's what I mean. Like they've noticed that too. So what I think is going to happen is he's going to go over to this other world. He's going to get addicted to this other world, and then everybody's going to have to come and pull him back. And then at the end of this season, and this is just my speculation, is that they're going to destroy this room interdimensional thing. Yeah. I have a feeling because like Flag set that up too. He's like, the last thing we need is another interdimensional warp ripping the Earth again. Right.
Every time he opens the door, it comes up on Flag.
And I think what that's all going to be is just to say, like, look, this multidimensional stuff is so stupid it doesn't matter. Because, like, I think that's why he did it the way he did with the Back to the Future opening. Because when I'm watching this, I'm going, well, that's brilliant. So when they try to pull him back to this world, his world is the original world, and this completely erased the Snyderverse. But oh no, everybody else is going, this means it leaves the door open for the Snyderverse to still happen. It's like, oh my God.
The problem is that you can have multiple versions of his dad now, multiple versions of him.
Yes.
Too. This is
I get what you're saying, but I think they're going to tie that all up this year. I think that's the case. I get where you're coming from.
He's a clever guy. I just didn't like it in the opening. To me, I'm feeling what I'm feeling. I'm not saying that he'll pull it together by the end.
Here's the reason I say is because I think he knew and expected everybody to think, especially from the trailers, that once you see the interdimensional stuff, that's how he's going to get this peacemaker. Because we all did ourselves, right? And I was saying this last week, and I know, and I was talking to somebody who saw the show, and he's like, "That's not how it works." And I'm like, "Okay," so, and I'm like, "Well, don't spoil it for me." But they're like, "I'm like, does it make sense?" They're like, "Yeah." That's all they
I did like the fight scene with his alter ego. I thought that was really snappy. I thought,
that's what I'm talking about, and you can tell his alter ego
done.
from that other world is a complete fucking psycho. Like,
I'm just talking about the directing. I'm just talking about
I know, but yeah, it's a great scene. I thought it was great. Yeah.
I didn't think he was any more psycho than the real Peacemaker. I didn't. Of course, we didn't have much time with him to figure out. So
the thing is, this Peacemaker is like Deadpool. He wants to be good. He wants to be the best Peacemaker. And I think going to this other world is going to show him how to do that. And by the time he comes back, he's going to come back with this renewed idea that I can't just kill everybody.
Well, but that would be that to me is terrible. I don't like that kind of change in character. Anyway,
I get where you're coming from. But I mean, like, that's the thing his Gunn has done is he's changed the character already in this season. And he's acknowledged that the character has growth and change. And so I have a feeling he will have growth and change throughout this year too, is my point. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious though to see what happens. So
growth and change means he's no longer Peacemaker.
I just want.
Well, it just means he's not a murderous bastard anymore.
I was just wondering why everybody was drinking Bud Light in the biker bar, though. Boy, that was a product placement.
Yeah,
right
was everyone, or was it just Hardcore?
No, everyone.
Everybody at the bar was drinking Bud Light.
On a related note, did you guys?
That's some subliminal messaging right there. Bud Light paid a shitload of money for that to happen.
That's called product placement. But I was just going to say, did you guys hear the latest rumor about Bud Light?
They're joining Cracker Barrel and bad. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Paul knows what I'm talking about. No, Paul knows what I'm talking about. The rumor is they're looking at Sydney Sweeney for their new spokesman.
Oh my gosh!
I shit you not.
Brand repair.
Good well,
yeah. Well,
this is the one time I can say to them, whoever came up with this idea, they need a raise if that works, because that's the one way they could possibly save this brand right now.
Maybe if she says come back, kind of like an ex-girlfriend, and
you just do a classic Bud Light commercial with the hot chick, and Sydney Sweeney is the hot chick. That's all you do.
Actually, I think you're both right. You do a classic commercial with a really hot chick being her, and then you do what Chris just said. She says, I know I messed up. Please come back.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, like they broke up. There you go. That works. Yes. Yeah.
Like a breakup. Like she
said.
Yeah. Please come back.
Because look how high
they're going to be number one beer again if you do that. That's
I just rewrote the whole commercial. Here it is. It's a guy sitting at the bar. He's talking to the bartender. All woe is me, with a Bud Light in his hand, talking about how his girlfriend just broke up. Sydney Sweeney walks in, takes a drink of his Bud Light, and says, "Please take me back. I'm sorry. I did you wrong," and all that kind of business. There you go.
There you go.
And then he's like, "That's your girlfriend, Sydney Sweeney."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. And you could have the joke being that he's like, "Nah, baby, we're done. That's my Bud Light." And he grabs the Bud Light and she walks out. And then the bartender's like, "Are you crazy? That's Sydney Sweeney." Something like that. Just have a little joke at the
No,
end
then
there.
the guy sitting next to him gets up and takes her outside. and he lets
Yeah,
her
exactly.
find
Everybody in the bar runs after her. That's
Yeah.
That's
All
the
the other
kind
guys
of
left the beer
commercial
from the bar.
you need to end at just the right time. And as for the latest additions from both of you there, all I have to say is don't quit your day job. Because that's the
Oh,
Yeah,
and
that's
here's what he says,
commercial you
baby, I
wanna
love
end
you,
in
but I
time.
love my Bud Light more. And he takes his Bud Light back. There you go.
you don't even mention the Bud Light. You just
You have
it
to
there.
mention the Bud Light. That's 101. This is the problem with the last
That's
5 years of
Sydney
fucking...
Sweeney holding it, saying, "Please come back."
Yeah.
That
Simple.
part is the part to get the
Always.
fan. But here's the thing that they've forgotten about advertising the last few years. That Ritz cracker and some of those other advertisements are prime examples of what I'm getting at. It's like they forgot that they were selling a product. Instead, they were selling the gay.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, no. The number one thing is you're selling a fucking product here. Right? So keep that in mind. I get what you're saying, but they need to get back to that mentality because that's what got them down this road in the first place, was trying to be too clever with bullshit. Or that Doritos commercial, that thing was stupid too. It's like you didn't even know it was about Ritz or Doritos because it was all about the gay uncle, and I can't even remember what the other one was about. Like, wasn't it the grandfather or something like that was worried about being about coming out or some shit like that? Was the Doritos one, I think it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. But anyway, back to Peacemaker.
I did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you didn't like it, Paul. I thought you would like it more than you did.
I'm worried that it's just the same old bullshit.
Yeah, well, time will tell. Time will
Yeah,
tell.
absolutely.
And if it is, it is.
Now, what's funny is he shot this like right after he finished Superman, right? From my memory.
Mm,
Because Superman just came out. This just came out. This just isn't as effects heavy. So that's why they were able to bring them out so close together, is my understanding. Because
Yeah, I
this
think
was shot
so.
right after Superman. Right? Or was it shot? It wasn't shot before Superman, obviously.
I don't understand the need to change what you did with the old Snyder. I mean, why even revisit that? I don't get it.
He did the Back to the Future thing. I'm not.
Eh,
I think it's his way of
I
saying,
don't.
because
I know you keep saying James Gunn did this, did that, but I wonder if some of that might have been a mandate. Like, in other words, Jim, we need you to do this.
I
Maybe,
don't think so.
but
I mean, it
I
could
think
be,
in this
but
case, yeah. Go
I
ahead,
don't think
Andre.
like why would anyone give? He's the head of this studio
Sure.
of DC. Why would anyone give him a creative mandate? I think that as long as the money comes in, as long as he doesn't go too woke or something like that, where Zaslav has to intervene, I think he can do pretty much what he wants story-wise. And if he wants to do that, if he wants to say, okay, yeah, all of the rest of the series happened apart from this one thing, now you all agree, let's move on.
Because that's kind of the way he's presented it, is whatever he puts in the movies or shows as canon going forward. And I think that was kind of the Back to the Future beginning, I thought, is kind of brilliant. Because it's kind of like the reversal of the Snoke thing with Rian Johnson. Because Rian Johnson, I'm convinced the only reason he killed Snoke and made Rey a nobody is so he could make everybody's theories bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? So no matter what your theory was, unless you're the one or two people that had the theory that Rey was nobody, right? Everybody's theories were proven wrong when it came to Snoke. But in this case, everybody had this theory that this show was going to be the show that was going to reset everything and put Peacemaker in the new universe and blah, 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 blippity, blah. I'm looking at it now. I was like, no, it doesn't really matter overall. All the same shit happened before. All he's doing is the Back to the Future beginning, and that's how he's going to treat things from here on out. Because like he even said in an interview recently, and this just came out yesterday or whatever, that going forward, if people can't come back and reprise their roles, he'll just recast them, and he won't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what he was doing here with the beginning of it, saying, look, yeah, all you people thought that I was going to use this show to kind of reset things. Nope. Just the world he came from is the world we're in now. Right? Like that's, I think, his way of saying that. And then the show, as far as it dealing with the multiverse stuff, we'll see how that pans out. Paul could be right and I could be completely wrong. And he keeps fucking with this multiverse shit, and that's going to be his undoing. Because that's the thing that's destroying the Marvel Universe. And I would think he'd be smart enough to see that. Because them moving away from
Ryan
cosmic
Reynolds.
shit and moving into the multiverse shit is what really killed it besides the woke.
I'm just baffled that he would even make use of that element in the first place, the multiverse thing at all. I just given the history with Marvel, that's nothing new, and certainly before he did Peacemaker season 2. But like you say, maybe it'll be one commentary on it. Maybe he'll wrap it up, and there'll never be another multiverse again in DC, and that's it. I'm just kind of surprised. And even when the trailer came out, I was kind of surprised that they were going down that road. But
I just won't be surprised by the end of the show if Waller or Flag decides that that's too much power for anybody to have, and they're ordered to destroy that.
Well, I'm just waiting. I was waiting for Flag to want to go to that universe to find his son alive and all that kind of garbage.
Well, that too, or something like that. See, that's the thing. That's the problems that it opens up. But Flag's somebody who's smart enough to know you can't and shouldn't do that, so he'll want it destroyed.
Unless it's his son, because I saw that animated series, right?
Yep.
The Creature Commandos, which is supposed to be canon to the DC universe as well. It even has Frank Grillo as the voice of Flag Senior. Flag Senior is a blithering idiot.
And you could be right too, because like, I mean, in that little making of thing, Gunn talks about how Flag is not quite good, but he's not quite bad at the same time, kind of thing. Right. But he seems like
a great
to me, he just seems like somebody who's not as bad as Waller is what I was saying, but yeah.
Speaking of making of, what do you all think about the new intro sequence?
It was okay.
Not as good as the other song.
Not as good as the first one, but it was all right, I guess.
It was all right.
Although when I saw Michael, the person,
I like how they tried hiding Michael Rooker in the beginning.
Yeah, well, when I first saw him back there, when I saw that, I didn't recognize who it was. So at first I thought, is that Randy Quaid? Because I honestly thought that was Randy Quaid back there. And I'm like, oh no, it's Michael Rooker. Okay.
But it was like they were trying to hide him in this intro this time, because I don't think he comes in till later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you all. I thought the intro was fine. I just think that the new song was boring as hell compared to the previous song. I mean, the previous song was just brilliant and just so much life, so much energy. I mean, this new song, I've forgotten it already, meaning it's something I could fall asleep to.
They should use the same song in a new dance sequence. That's what they should have done. But oh well.
Yeah, or use the same band, because they have plenty of other songs just like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's just ways that I know that he's not going to stay in that other universe with his dad, right? Because there's little things that just kind of told me that.
I would assume not. I mean, it's got to go away, because if he swapped out the ending of the first season for the Superman characters, then like you say, that is the established universe now. All the events and the things that happened in season 1 are now part of the continuity. So this, mirror universe thing it's got to go away in some way, shape, or form. It can't be.
That's what I'm thinking, Scribe. See, you know where I'm coming from a storytelling point of view, is like, that's why I feel like I get where Paul's gripes are coming from. I totally think they're justified, but I think that's going to be his comment on how stupid multiverses are by the end, and it's just going to be wrapped up by to destroy it somehow.
My point is that if this was a Rockford episode, you could have everything that's in there, all the confusing bits and pieces, but just give me the conclusion to a B or a C plot.
Well, see, now this is a problem
That's all
general.
I'm saying. I'm such a I'm such a traditionalist.
Paul, I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is something I've gotten sick and tired of in general with the whole way that television has gone, is we just don't have flat. And this is why I watch old shows all the time, like fucking Cheers.
We don't have episodes anymore. They're not episodes.
Yes, because I can just watch an episode and I don't have to have remembered what happened in the last one, and I don't have to worry about what's going to be set up for the next one. Right? Cheers begins, middle, and ends. That's I totally agree with you on that, Paul, because that's been an issue since prestige television has taken over with streaming. We've talked about this before, where they shoot all these shows like a movie, and that's the way this show was shot too, like a movie, and then they cut it all up, and then instead of them being able to adjust it or react to fan reactions like an old show like Family Matters used to, like we brought up before, they don't have that anymore, right? Like, sure, they can't destroy a show like they did V now, but if a show's fucked from the start, what are you going to do? I mean,
they set up potential B plots. For instance, oh God, what's her name? his wife. What's her character name?
I forget the
Harcourt.
character name. But Harcourt, yeah.
Harcourt.
Yeah. So rather than that horrendous, boring interview, she's out on an assignment to show whether she is still capable of like, again, it's just the test. Just have her in her own B plot. I'd watch it. And then she screws up. And then you have that interview where she doesn't get the job. Right?
Well,
the bar scene went nowhere. There was no, it had no beginning, middle, and end. It was, we're going to stick her in a place where she's going to thrash people, get all bloodied, and really enjoy the fact that she really needed that as some catharsis. She needed to get bloodied.
Those bikers were fantastic gentlemen for not freaking murdering her because she was a total psycho and she had it coming.
The only thing I noticed about that, I was kind of surprised by the beatdown she got. I'm just thinking afterwards, I'm surprised she didn't lose any teeth. But, like, I mean,
saw that too.
Here's what I saw happening with that. Her whole thing there, Peacemaker and her should have just, when he went over there, had they just made love, then none of that shit would have happened. Because both of them would have found what they needed in each other. But instead, they both went their separate ways because of her stubbornness and his inability to say what he needs. And so he went off to this fucking orgy party that he facilitated. I know everybody's like, oh, how did it happen? All Peacemaker's got to do is say, Peacemaker's throwing a fucking party. Yeah, I'm sure a bunch of people will show up. And then the other side, she's going off to the bar. Instead of fucking him, she's fighting a bunch of bikers so she feels something. Because Andre said, she's at this point where she's been basically blackballed.
I wanted to see Adrian do a crap job in the restaurant serving people.
There you go.
He's the only one who's happy. That's what I love that was funny is because like he's happy no matter what.
Well, he's not happy because his old friend is now promoted.
Well, that part's the only part that he hates. But like, yeah, like otherwise he's fine with his life. His life hasn't changed that much. But like,
you know what bothered me the most? Oh, sorry.
So I'm just saying. So we now have 3 instances where people were told that they were screw ups as opposed to seeing them screw up. Like it's just bad writing.
Yeah, the thing that bothered me about the bar scene is that I knew it was happening as soon as she walked in the bar and started doing things.
Right.
You know what it reminded me of, and in the opposite way, and very briefly, in Better Call Saul, the character of Mike, he puts himself in a similar situation where he's going to take a beat down because he feels bad and he feels guilt over something that he did wrong. He deserved it because he needed to be punished for something. In this instance, she's just mad she's not getting her way. And so I'm going to go beat up a bunch of innocent people to let out my anger at something that I have. It didn't feel like it was an earned catharsis.
It could be partially
what
you're saying though too, because at the same time she is kind of self-punishing herself because of what she's doing to her own self because of all this.
Well,
and I get what you're saying, but Paul, her big mission that she's going to do to prove herself, she's already been set on that mission or will be set on that mission, is that she's going to have to go back and get Peacemaker back. Flag is going to send her on that mission.
Sure.
And
probably.
That's how she's going to prove herself, basically. Yeah. Or not just get him back, but probably kill him. That's going to be the clincher, and she's not going to be able to do it.
Well, we shall see.
But then again, I'm sure Flag's going to want to do it himself.
I just have to mention that none of them have to prove themselves because there's no doubt about their skills. They're being punished.
Yes, that's what I was trying. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at too, Andre, is like she's punishing herself at this scene too. See, I see where you're coming from as well, Scribe, but I disagree with you in that I think she is doing that to herself. Like instead of staying with, because that's what happens is she's fine all of a sudden. Because notice, she punches the dashboard, and then she kind of let it all out, and she was fine. Then Chris shows up. Chris starts being uber nice, more nicer than he's ever been before, and loving and caring. And then as soon as they have like this moment where he realizes this is not going anywhere, he blows up and takes off, and then that's when she gets into her funkin' funk. So I think that she is kind of punishing herself for the way she treated Chris, for fucking this whole thing up. And I get what you guys are. I get the conflict here. But I guess I'm trying to figure out why it's a problem until we find out what's to come. Because I mean, we got a preview of what's to come.
Tom, they break up with a very quick conversation where I was drunk, you were drunk. It was a one-night stand. Thanks, bye. Okay.
She can't be vulnerable. That's her thing too.
That's pretty perfunctory.
But that's kind of like set up in her scene where she's basically fired because like that's the joke is we're like they're like you're too misogynistic, you're this, you're that, and the other, and then we pan over and it's her
It's
because we
weak.
expect it.
Tweak again.
Okay,
It's just words, not action. I mean, the whole bar scene was very S&M. Like she's a sadomasochist. I didn't find that very appealing.
Yeah, that was my
Usually-
least favorite scene too, as well. But
Yeah.
everybody else's least favorite scene was the orgy, but okay.
I didn't mind that. I mean, kudos to James Gunn for bringing Bush back.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Anyway.
if it's called Orgies Are Us and had them like fly in a bunch of people, then I go, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I was hoping it was a
worked with
cocaine
people.
delusion. I was hoping it was a cocaine delusion. Like
I thought it was.
the spy guy comes up to the monitoring him, comes up and like the house is empty and Peacemaker's like walking around people that aren't there, and then but it wasn't. Whatever.
And you know, John's going to get in trouble because now he's being spied on by.
Oh, totally. So he's going to be like he's the one. He is actually the one that is being tested, and he just failed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lied.
Lying in the intelligence industry? No.
As a matter of
Anyways, I think the episode could have done everything they did and just, but they didn't give us any scenes for us to enjoy. Is my problem.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see how it.
Well, we have no choice, do
how it
we?
comes out. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree. I thought the first episode, the first episode was. I was going to say it was lackluster, but I thought it was lacking in that I would have liked to seen more. And actually, you know what I think? This, I think, is something that could have been solved by them dropping 2 episodes at once, like Disney does. They would, and many others do. They'll drop like 2 or 3 episodes the very first time just to get you hooked. It was the same thing with, for instance, the current Dexter series, Dexter Resurrection. They dropped 2 episodes at once. Now, I liked the first episode. The second is what got me hooked.
Well, if you recall, the first season of Peacemaker, they dropped 3.
And that actually worked like hell because I was hooked instantly. That's because I didn't see just 1. I saw 3 episodes back to back. Then that's actually a very good point. And I do believe that probably quite a few gripes that many will have could have been resolved by maybe dropping a couple of 2 or more episodes in one go. Not the whole series, but maybe we should have gotten 2 episodes in one go.
You don't solve a series problem by having a shitty 1 episode that solves the problem, that the second one solves the problem. That's frustrating for me.
Well, it's frustrating, but given that that's where writing and stuff is right now,
Okay.
I mean,
Pollyanna.
not ideal. I'm not defending it, but given us where we are, given that writers now cannot restrict themselves to a normal setup, maybe you do need the 2 hours. You need feature length just to give a series a chance, because ain't no pilot anymore that can do it. Because writers can't write pilots. I'm sure there's some that can, but certainly not the ones that are working.
No, they can't. Yeah, it's anyway. Yeah, I mean, it was nice to see the old gang. It was nice to see them. Nice to see them together.
Yeah, it was.
I will definitely be watching episode 2.
Yeah, so will I. And I look forward to seeing the new episode of Dexter later on. That's my favorite series right now. I was hoping that that Peacemaker would be able to supplant that right away. But so far, Dexter is my favorite series of the year so far.
Dexter.
Oh, yeah, the new season is amazing.
Amazing. There's still legs in it.
Oh, totally. Totally. I mean, they could go on for 20 more years now.
I'm hoping, or I was hoping at least, that Peacemaker was going to supplant the boys as being satirical superhero, superpowered beings.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Let's just see as we get there.
Yep.
But we have some some more comments here. Mexican Iron Man has been a member for 52 months, saying, and we love Mike and we're so glad to have him. And he says, the Peacemaker party scene, disgusting, not entertaining. Gunn can kiss my ass. As a parent, and I'm supposed to let my 6th grader watch DC on HBO Max, Gunn has zero idea how to deliver inspirational heroism to the next generation. This actually is a fair point, because I saw that the actor playing like Freddie Stoma, whatever his name is, the guy playing the sidekick, he was even worried of young kids hot of a Superman wanting the next installment of the DCU coming to Peacemaker. And the first episode, Gunn not only brings back the bush, he also brings the D in several sizes and iterations in your face.
What has been this trend? I'm noticing a disturbing trend of a lot of swinging dangly bits in television these days. Who wants to? My
You just
own
can't
wife.
show erections.
Yeah,
Well,
you need to,
good gosh.
like be fair.
I was gonna say this is nothing new. They just quit showing penises in the 80s and 90s. Back in the 60s and 70s, they used to show them just as much as bush.
Could it? This is just my speculation, but there's a lot of that in various Pride celebrations, is it not? And TV, everything has gone all.
Those aren't
in
usually
on
as
Pride.
floppy though. Those are usually rigid and hard.
True, but still, could it be like some?
I'm just talking about the old standards and practices. Like the old rule is in an R-rated film, it can be floppy and flappy all day long, but the moment it's hard, if it's not covered up, it's NC-17. Because hard dicks make little old ladies faint. That's the old saying.
Yeah, and again, as a Norwegian here, I mean, you haven't seen Norwegian TV, so I'm not complaining because we've had worse. Let's just put it that way.
Well, but putting something like that in this DC television, right? Even the cartoon, to Mexican Iron Man's point, was full of obscenities, and even the new Superman movie surprisingly had some language in it that I was not expecting. And of course, it's fine with us, and I don't know how they feel about us on the West Coast, but there's plenty of F-bombs every episode. I get reprimanded by that in the comments when I restream this sometimes, but I don't know. Gunn's always been, let's just say, colorful. So I guess we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
This is just par for the course for somebody from Troma. At the end of the day.
Indeed, but the question is, is it the right place for it? Considering the
Superman
family
movie,
nature
no.
of Superman.
In a
No, no, I
Superman
didn't
movie,
think
no.
so.
Yeah.
Well,
But this is
but
where I think people are missing the point of Peacemaker has never, ever been a kid's show. It's always been rated mature or R-rated or whatever the equivalent
but then at the end
is.
of the end of the show, they have an advertisement for Peacemaker to be in a video game and all this other stuff. So there is
Fair.
a
Oh,
yeah.
connection. So they're trying
who
to
plays
they're trying
video games too, not just kids.
No, I
But you had
get it.
Peacemaker at the end of Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
they
okay,
tie
I
it in.
better watch Peacemaker if I like Superman.
Yeah.
It's a
that
cameo.
was
It's a throwaway cameo at best.
But the kids
so.
watched it, and they've got DC or they got HBO Max at home. So it's like,
Well, that's where parents need to be fucking parents. And this is where they've been bitching at other people for so fucking long. And this is where I'm sick and tired of it. I am a parent who raised their child already. I don't want to hear any excuses. If you don't know how to parent your fucking child, then learn. It's called a fucking button on your thing that's parental lock. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want your kid watching it, don't let them watch it. Tell them you can't watch it until you're older. Sorry. If these are people that are Snyder Bros that are bitching about this, I don't want to fucking hear it. Because the shit that's in those movies in comparison, so what? Yeah, maybe it's not nudity and stuff, but as violent and fucking dark as shit as that is, give me a break. Come on. Because especially the unrated versions of shit, come on. It's so stupid. It's like, use your brain, right? If you know you can take your kid to Batman, cool. If you know your kid's going to be scared of Batman, uncool. The difference here is I know I could take a kid to Superman. Would I be a little upset with some of the language and stuff in it? I guess that depends on how you raise your kid. And I'm seeing a lot of this shit where people are butting heads. I knew this was going to happen. Look, not everybody in the anti-woke movement is as conservative as everybody, right? So sooner or later, you're going to hit these roadblocks where certain people are going to be like, look, I don't see this as a problem. But other people are going to be like, that's pornography. But guess what? I was not with all those folks that were going pornography for years either. So guess what? You're going to meet a lot of people who don't agree with everybody on every goddamn thing. So don't show your kid Peacemaker. Sorry. If your kid wants to watch it, you just tell them, sorry, it's not for you. I get it. But I don't see where this is a problem with people because it's consistent with the first fucking season. It's not like all of a sudden James Gunn has turned Peacemaker into this show that it wasn't before, and it's not like he's making the shit happen in Superman, right? Then I would understand people's arguments. Now, all of a sudden in Superman 2, if there's a fucking orgy scene, then I understand.
Well, I think the difference is that that's the first season was not directly associated with the more wholesome new Superman, and now it's tied directly in, and it's part of the he fast forwarded.
And that's Marvel's fault. That's not James Gunn's fault. Because Marvel made it to where you think the shows have everything to do with the movie. Yes. Because
James Gunn has told us that because he tells us that Peacemaker is in continuity with Superman and one leads
it's in continuity with Superman, but he's not telling you have to see Peacemaker to see anything else. See, that's where, and I agree with you. That's fucking salesman 101 for you. I can't disagree with you there. But is he going, okay, children, go to HBO Max and turn on Peacemaker and watch Peacemaker. Don't tell your parents. That's the way people are fucking acting here.
It's because of those old tweets. That's why they think he's acting that way, probably.
This is the same guy that called out Jared Leto for fucking girls that are underage. Come on, guys, give me a break. Like, am I the only person who sees the shit in the room? Like, that's what I feel like right now. I'm like, I mean, I'm alone in this, I guess. I'm totally alone.
Probably, yes.
Tom,
I see the complaints here. But yeah, no, basically, kids are going to have to use the.
And it's like nobody ever watched South Park or Airplane before either when it comes to dirty jokes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, true, but South Park isn't canon with I don't know what the hell kids are watching. Well, basically,
no. I'm talking about the jokes, right? Like, this is my point. Is like I'm so sick of this thing that everybody has with this. Look, we've laid it all out a million fucking times. People have no problem with Bo DeMaio all of a sudden, yet he has a OnlyFans because he made something they like. The hypocrisy. So I'm calling out the hypocrisy here. That's the problem people have, and I'm sorry. Forgive me. That's my fucking thing I do.
Anyway, I can see why people have an issue with you now have a shared universe where basically you have Bluey in one end and South Park in the other.
Yeah.
That is totally understandable. But that's the way DC has always been. And that's why I don't understand why people are barking. Right? If this was Marvel, I would understand. And Marvel has been the one to set you up to go, oh, the expectation is you have to see WandaVision and Hawkeye and all these other shows to know what's going to happen in the next movie. Right? That is totally understandable. I have not seen anything so far in Peacemaker that makes me think that I have to have seen Peacemaker to see anything in Supergirl.
DC Comics a couple of years ago had a Black Label line of books, and they had Bruce Wayne taking off his Batman suit, and you saw his swinging dick in the comic right there. And I remember that moment as why, like why was that even part of the moment? And as we're having this discussion right now, I'm thinking, oh, and by the way, they later went back and erased that in the digital version, which is why you should always do physical media. But that aside, has Marvel had tits and swinging dicks in any of their TV shows or movies?
No, I don't think so.
I think there might have been something in the background of one of the Deadpool movies, and there was certainly a lot of more sexual activity in Deadpool.
Those,
1
yes,
and 2,
but those aren't. That wasn't when they were in the MCU proper, though.
We got the hot eyes during the Acolyte.
That's Acolyte.
During
that's
the
Star Wars.
the Blue Lagoon scene.
That's Star Wars. Anything in the MCU though has been consistently PG-13. The only difference and exception was when the Netflix shows. I think they did have some more risque shit in the earlier Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Punisher and stuff like that. Yeah,
but that was mostly in terms of violence, more so than
more so. Well, Jessica Jones had some sexuality, but yeah,
but even when like Jessica Jones hooked up with Luke Cage, or no, it wasn't Jessica. Maybe it was Misty Knight. I'm trying to remember if there was some nudity in that, and there might have been because it was on Netflix.
Yeah.
But did Deadpool and Wolverine have any actual nudity in it? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I mean
No.
there might have been some sex toys, but
Yeah. See, I think by that point they weren't able to, but
yeah.
So that's the thing with Marvel, and I understand, guys, like when it comes to Marvel, there is supposed to be this consistency. The problem is the woke bullshit breaks that consistency, right? To where, and I get where you guys are coming from. Growing up, Marvel was always the one that was a little bit more adult.
Yeah.
DC was always the one that was a little more kid, unless you were talking the graphic novels.
Yeah.
Because that's where the Dark Knight comes in. That's where Watchmen comes in and stuff like that.
I just want to make sure we have a distinction between adult and mature. There's like adult contact, like XXX stuff, but just like mature subject matter is different than like outward, like 70s, porno nudity.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, though, do you see your tits, though, Flash? That's what I was trying to remember. See, it's one thing to show somebody actually going close to the edge, but it's like the nudity itself. Like, look, I agree and understand that the scene in Peacemaker was flat out just fucking crazy. Like, that was insanely crazy. But that's just par for the course when it comes to HBO. And here's the thing is, they used to, I don't know if they still do, and I don't know if you knew about this or not, Paul, but in a lot of their shows, they used to have, like, nudity clauses and shit. Like, in certain shows, like, they would expect a certain amount of nudity and stuff.
Well, isn't that the point of nudity? Like, banning nudity is not taking off your claws?
Well, but back in the day, that was kind of one of the selling points of HBO, was that you were guaranteed you would see tits at least once or twice every so many hours long.
You know, the very first episode of Game of Thrones kind of solidified what they were about.
Well, I remember being a kid, about 10 years old, and we were watching some news thing on HBO. I can't remember what it was called. Not necessarily the news, I think it was called. And the first show ends with a naked chick in full fucking frontal nudity running around a baseball diamond. Like, that was the end of the show. I remember that distinctly from being 10 years old and seeing that on TV. My mom going, holy shit, cover his eyes. I'm like, it's too late, Mom. See, that was a weird thing growing up. My parents were only ever worried about nudity and not the violence and shit. And to me, I'm just like, all you did was give me a sex complex. Like, I'm not going to go out and kill anybody. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm not going to blow up a town. I seen Rambo when I was 6. But you did try to shield me from a lot of nudity. And all you did was just make sex weird. I was like, that's all you did. You turned me into Bobby Hill.
Sex is always weird.
Should have grown up in Europe. Wouldn't have been a problem.
But anyhow, let's get into see what you guys are talking about there in the chats. We got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, pity about screwing over Jared Leto. They could have brought Morbius into their multiverse. Think of the hundreds of dollars they would have made.
Yeah, it really is the day for screwing over Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Got screwed over by Marvel, got screwed over by DC, and then insulted by James Gunn.
What I love is that he got so upset over those Joker memes. That was so great. Stop tagging me in this shit.
Well, let's see how he'll manage a Skeletor.
Oh fuck! Quit reminding me. Callum Lyle says one trick pony. Well, maybe, or one tick pony. If you have a one tick pony, I guess. M. Miller says Justice League bad guys should be Vandal Savage in World War II based on animated episode, but for the new DC universe. Well, you never know what they're going to be up to, but I have a feeling Brainiac is going to be the first real big bad, but I could be wrong. Callum Lyle says he's not that smart. He keeps lying in interviews because we didn't know Peacemaker was made. It's the same humor. Huh? We didn't know Peacemaker was made. I guess I don't get what you're saying, Cal.
Yeah, I don't quite get it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cal says, what I don't... Go ahead.
Yeah, carry on.
He says, what I don't get is why I get attacked. Call me things. It doesn't bother me when I disagree about James Gunn like he's the best thing since Palestine. I don't know whoever
There's
said
a
that.
lot of landmines in that comment, I think.
Yeah. Snarky
We're
Distinct.
just going to say thanks for the support.
Yeah, that's good.
Snarky Distinct says, watch the movie Jaws backwards. It's a heartwarming story of a great white shark giving his arms and legs to the disabled. This is true.
Snarky.
Absolutely true. Mr. Snarky Trunk, Mr. Snickle Trunk. There you go. Your new name's Mr. Snickle Trunk. Snickle Trunk. Rumors Superman 2. He meat spins to put out fires. This is true.
Oh.
Hello.
He pisses and just spins around.
Meat spin.
Meat spins. So anyway, next up on the agenda, Marvel's in trouble, or so is Disney for that matter. Because here in the biggest "we told you so" of the week, Disney has boy troubles. Gee, imagine that, huh? Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men. Now, I don't know if you guys have read this article or not, but I read it last night on the show.
Yep.
And what it basically boils down to is they're in the exact same place they were before they bought Marvel and Star Wars. In fact, they're doing the same shit they were just before they bought Marvel and Star Wars. We're getting another Tron movie. We're getting more Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. What's next? John Carter of Mars again? Why not?
I was about to say, maybe reboot John Carter and do it right this time. There's some Disney history right there.
Conan. Get some Conan.
Let's see. You already had all the boys. All you had to do is buy Marvel and Star Wars and do nothing. Just literally let them do their thing they were doing, and they would have been fine.
Well, not only that, but spending the last 10 years, and it's not just Disney, but the Academy, and by the Academy I mean like educational institutions and politicians, spending all the time vilifying men and boys. Masculinity is inherently toxic. You are all flawed girls. You have everything to apologize for, and you have to constantly make penance for what you are, just because you're obviously just criminals and abusers in the waiting. And now they're suddenly wondering where did all the boys go? Why aren't they interested in our products anymore? We've only been like girl bossing ourselves into oblivion for the last 10 years. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Well, they just assumed that the boys would. It's literally the exact same assumption that they made in the comics when they went to all girl bosses all the time right there as well. But yeah, of course, we don't have to do anything to maintain our existing audience. They're the existing audience. They'll stay no matter what. No matter what we do, they'll always be here. Except that's not the case. They just assumed that the boys would be there no matter what. So the priority was to expand into the girls because, 30% of women were watching, and that wasn't good enough. They wanted all the women watching. And so, yeah.
So now they got 25% of the women watching instead of 30%, and no men watching.
Yeah, and so my big curiosity is not just like what are they going to put out to try to remedy this, but how are they going to win back the trust of anybody that has been seeing what they've been doing for the last decade, and not imagine that, well, they might put out something that has a veneer of being for boys, but are we going to be belittled and set aside and usurped?
Well, there's only one way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
No amount of marketing helps a studio or a network. We had this discussion back at the CBC in the early 90s saying, well, what can we do to improve our image? And I went, just make good shows. It'll be one brick at a time. You don't know how many bricks you're going to need, but the only way you're going to attract an audience is to do what your business is. Your business is to make stuff. So from a Disney perspective, there's no amount of trying to manipulate this situation is put something out that has like a squad of 5 guys doing stuff. And none of them
they have to earn it. Just flatly earn it. Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
Well, I saw a big problem in that article. And that is because, of course, it's varieties. They kind of like skip past the problem. They don't really mention any of the obvious things.
Right.
But what they do say is, according to the various insiders, Disney are looking to acquire different properties with an innate appeal to male audiences. That's their solution. It is not to fix Marvel, and it is not to fix Star Wars. It's to get something else. Now, you would think that the priority would be to fix what they already have, but apparently that's not the case.
Well, no, the priority. We're not personally. I'm not going to believe that Disney has changed their ways until the regime changes. It doesn't matter how many properties they
Right.
buy or what they acquire, because the people at the top, like we saw, I said this in the last stream the other day. The interview with Kevin Feige the other day shows he has learned nothing. He is not willing to move anywhere.
Well, this whole article shows they learn nothing, right?
Yeah,
Scribe?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Instead of fixing anything, they're just trying something else and just
Yeah, I mean, acquiring, Hot Wheels or something, but under the supervision of the Kevin Feiges and the Bob Igers, is just going to turn Hot Wheels into garbage.
Right.
This
And
is basically
that's
like
it.
Like what you should have done is called in a plumber when you had a plumbing problem. But instead of doing that, you just ignored that problem and just built over top of it.
Well,
That's
they-
what they're doing right now.
So I think I was on your channel, Andre and Tom, back when I published, I think in April of 23. I took a very different approach to this, and that is culture eats strategy.
Yeah.
And I did
Yes.
the video on, and I think Andre, you even quoted me on that. That when they got all these three, let's say the two boy brands, the problem was that Disney itself was a princess brand.
Yep.
And in almost every single case, any kind of merger, forget about the creative stuff. I mean, a lot of mergers happen in the technical fields.
Right.
And one can have a really hippie culture, but the company that buys you will destroy that hippie culture because their corporate culture is militaristic, and they're going to win because they bought you. And they
Like when Warner Brothers bought Atari.
there's
basically.
always this discussion around, no, you guys are going to be left alone because that's what made you successful, and that was the reason that we bought you. But as soon as the HR department gets their claws in you, they're going to change you over. And to me, this is mostly I'm going to simplify it, an HR culture issue.
Mhm.
That's why Marvel turned into a girl brand, and so did Star Wars, because
Yeah.
HR was a princess brand. I don't think they could have helped it any other way, independent of all the DEI stuff and everything else we wanted to do. The new market bullshit. We have to go in and find that new market that doesn't exist, that's not interested in our product at all, but let's go after them anyway. That's a different.
Well, what you're basically describing, Paul, is what happened to Mattel when they decided to bring She-Ra into the Motu brand. And we warned people about this because this is exactly what happened. And that culture problem was the same issue there, right? Because He-Man was fine by itself until it beat Barbie. And then the women's department that always had controlled Barbie were pissed because they finally got beat for the first time. Yeah, over at Mattel, they had gotten pissed because that's the first time they'd ever gotten beaten. So as soon as they had heard that they were going to introduce a sister character into Motu, they took over. They inserted themselves and took over that character and destroyed what was the biggest toy brand in the world. And not only that, you had people leave the company over it. It still goes on to this day, the fight. Because the women on the side of it go, oh, we didn't destroy the brand. We didn't destroy the brand. And you got people who left the company go, they fucking destroyed the brand. Because it was the biggest brand ever, and they came in and turned it into a girl's toy, so the boys didn't want to play with it anymore.
See, I agree with Paul to a point, because Marvel, up until Feige took over, the HR culture, let's say, was held at bay by Perlmutter and the Story Group and everything. It's only when Kevin Feige came in, who was obviously a cheerleader for that kind of idea in the first place, that the floodgates open. Unlike we're over in Lucasfilm, where Kathleen Kennedy was dyed in the wool from the jump. That's why Star Wars sucked from the beginning. But Marvel had a good, almost 10 odd years of decent product until the ideologues took over. So it is possible to avoid the HR culture if you have a strong enough entity that's autonomous enough and wise enough to move past it, look past it, or derail it.
Well,
But yeah, no,
gotta have
Kevin
Iger
Feige.
say- you got to have Iger say this is a separate profit center, and they're not going to be touched.
Well, they had that.
Iger say that.
It was Touchstone. Why did they get rid of Touchstone? Why did Iger get rid? That's where you had sort of these
Yeah,
maybe
that's true.
original stories that would appeal more to
Because
males.
we got rid of Touchstone because it was an Eisner invention. You
Well,
get
and
rid of
that's-
all the shit that your predecessor loved.
Yeah.
Well, and I would too after I bought Fox, because you just paid $70 billion for a fucking brand name that's bigger than Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures could ever be.
Well, that got, but Touchstone and Hollywood Pictures were jettisoned way longer before.
Oh, yeah.
Fox.
I know, and that's my point, though, is once they bought that, that's where that should have been the new de facto, okay, all of our other shit goes over here. Instead, they've had this weird, and this goes along with their whole Disney Plus sucking up Hulu now bullshit.
Yeah.
This has been a disaster from the start. Because even though I can't remember the guy's name who runs it over there at Fox, he claims that he's kind of autonomous and he can kind of do what he wants. But it's like, bullshit, dude. You've only released like, what, 5 movies in the last few years? I know I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but really, if it wasn't Predator or Alien, have you heard about it? Not really. Because most of the movies have been just little duds or sent straight to streaming. I mean, they have not utilized the Fox brand at all.
Not at all. Where's the Die Hard reboot?
Anything like that.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think really here's the secret sauce, and I don't know how Disney and Marvel don't understand it, but boys want to see stories where boys are the heroes, just like girls want to see stories where girls are the heroes. If you would start making the boys the heroes of your projects, you could do that with Star Wars and Marvel too. The thing is you've got, while it's only a handful of Marvel movies that have female leads, the fact is that it's just predictable that the female is always going to be the girl boss in even the movies that aren't a female lead, other than something like Deadpool. What Ryan Reynolds was able to do when they bought Fox and do that movie with the Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, is actually kind of shocking given the current human resources at Disney. And they know what they need to do. The fact that they are unwilling to do it, I do agree with Paul that it's just going to have to be good stories, brick by brick. You don't know when it's going to be done. But Disney just wants to say, we'll just scrap those. We've already given those properties over to the activists. Now we need something new that we can.
Yeah. The only thing that I see holding all that up is, even with this, performative, we're going to acquire things, is that we come back to the same problem you have when someone has been so slotted in their philosophy for so long, is that to give up power would be to admit that you were wrong. To say that now, okay, we're going to let you guys go and do all the toxic masculinity stuff would be to say that now you're good with that. And if you've been defining your righteousness for so many years by saying that these things are bad and these things are good, and then you suddenly reverse course, that's a very difficult thing for people to do, for egos to do, and for the cocktail party set to allow to happen without criticism or banishment.
Well, and they're going to want to insert, just like you're saying, there's going to be somebody on staff that's going to want to insert some ideological BS in it. But if they would just adapt, I don't know, Metal Gear Solid, maybe, as a boy show. Yeah. Why do you laugh?
Oh, I was thinking of that, how Disney doing a Metal Gear Solid
I know.
movie.
Well,
when Quiet shows up, man, that's going to be something else. Big Boss and Quiet, I tell you. But I have to leave, unfortunately. I hate to segue out of here, but I gotta split.
You laugh at me and then you leave.
I know.
knew you and Paul would be trying to check out here
you.
soon.
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the concept of someone doing. I mean, trying to do a Metal Gear Solid movie based on the source material accurately would be an absolute labyrinth for any outsider.
How about Mass Effect?
Mass Effect would be much easier. Much easier. Much easier. That would make more sense as I don't want to say streaming series because they probably fuck it up. But if you did a decent write up for like 3 movies, you could probably get the first game out of the way. But anyway, that aside,
there you go. There you go.
So anyway, for myself, last night I did TED Excellence, where we listened to someone tell us why we need black male teachers specifically. It was everything I hoped it would be, which made me sad, but it was informative at least, because I've been covering the same kind of argument for almost the entire time of my channel, and I'm surprised how little has changed about the mentality. But anyway, if you're curious about that kind of thing, which is still being pushed today in the modern era, go check out TED Excellence. And elsewise, it was nice hanging out with everybody, Chris, Tom, Paul, and Andre. And everybody in the chat, have a good rest of your Friday and weekend. And I'll see you on. Oh, I won't be here Monday. I got a dentist appointment right when you guys start on Monday. So I won't be here Monday, but I'll hopefully be back for Wednesday.
All right. Take care.
See you.
Bye,
Scott.
guys.
Bye, Scribe.
All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about out there in the chat. We got Callum Lyle again. He says, Gunn in an interview, he didn't know Peacemaker was being made while Superman was out when it was announced months ago. I'm still not sure what you'd have to send me the link to what you're referring to. The only thing remotely close to this, what I think you might be referring to, and this is just me taking a stab in the dark, was last week when they announced August 15th or the week before when August 15th is when Superman was coming out on streaming. What he meant is he had no control over the release dates. And somebody in this company said that they wanted it out before because they felt like you had to see that before you see Peacemaker. He didn't necessarily agree with that. But that's what I got from that, what he was saying, is that he didn't have control over the release dates. Somebody else made that decision.
Having watched the first episode, do you think it was necessary to rush Superman to digital?
No, I think it was what we were saying before, and that was somebody inside felt that this would help Peacemaker on Peacemaker's numbers by getting Superman on digital.
Yeah, okay.
Before. Now, do I think it had any effect one way or the other? I don't know. I know that Superman sold well last week on PVOD. I don't have an actual number in front of me. I just know it did really well. It was number 1 on the charts or whatever. But that being said, I don't know if that translated into Peacemaker, because that's what we've been saying from the start, is it is kind of two different audiences, although one audience crosses over with it. I understand that's where there's this confusion with, is this for kids or is this something that people have to see? I don't think people have to see it. No, it's not for kids. Like, clearly it's not for kids.
Right now it's got 85% audience rating and 98% tomato meter.
Like the stuff that's is so far in the episodes that are related to Superman, I feel is so tangential that no, you technically have not had to have seen Superman.
Okay.
And Scribe hadn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have helped him a little bit to kind of understand the tonal shift, maybe, but then Andre had a similar reaction, so did Paul. So like that's just, it must be, in built into it in that respect. But like, I felt like, okay, no, I don't think I would have had to have seen Superman to get what's going on.
So far, there's only one thing from Superman, and that is Rick Flag is freaked out about anything to do with multiverses and portals and stuff like that. He's freaked out about that for some reason. That's literally all you need to know. One line, nothing else.
Yeah, they go like that Luther thing before we pinged it, and then they're like, I'm just worried about it because we don't need another dimensional rift tearing through.
Exactly. Beyond that, Peacemaker season 1 is what you need to see to know the characters and stuff like that. You don't need to see Superman.
And that's what I think he's setting it up like S.H.I.E.L.D. used to be, right? Where S.H.I.E.L.D. was affected by the movies, but S.H.I.E.L.D. would never affect the movies. And I think that's how these shows are going to be going forward.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you mean, to be clear.
Yeah. Obviously. Because that's where I feel like that the big mistakes were made, and I think that's where they know the difference. And I hope they're right, or I hope they've learned that lesson. At least Gunn has learned other lessons from the Marvel Universe working over there. Let's see if he learns anything else besides that. Callum says women destroy everything. Well, I wouldn't say that.
Come on now.
No, I wouldn't say
Creators.
That. They just need to start making shit for women and making shit for men. That's why Barbie and Wicked did so fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
Because they made shit specifically for women and they didn't try to appeal to men. Now, that's the other side of it. Imagine had they tried to make Barbie and Wicked appeal to men. That would have been the equivalent of what they've been doing for the last decade to every male property.
Correct.
I think Wicked could have used some more power tools.
It could have used a few dicks, yes.
I didn't say that.
We know what you meant by power
that's
tools.
A euphemism.
Tool.
It's definitely a euphemism.
Oh boy.
Definitely a euphemism.
Black and Decker, all I needed.
Black and Decker sounds dirty.
They just needed the Decker.
Once you go Black and Decker, you never go back.
No, never.
And Decker.
Yeah. Speaking of going back, I do need to drop out. So
we're all dropping out, aren't we?
Actually, I think we're gonna just wrap this up. Callum Lyle says, "Tom, why speak with chats all time?"
Huh.
Jesus Davila gifted 5. Midnight says memberships. Thank you for that. And Francis Hates has been a member for 26 months. And hey, Callum, if you want to hit me up in private, I'll be busy for a little bit, but later I might be able to answer some of your questions, or if you have any links to anything you're talking about. I'm not trying to be dismissive of you at all, so please don't take it that way. I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to, so do feel free to hit me up in private. I have no problem with that. So anyway, anything else before we head out of here? No, I didn't think so.
Nope.
Didn't have a chance to answer. Chris, what you got going on?
Me and Sydney are going to head over to Cracker Barrel and fix things up.
You do that. I see what you got going on there. After she's done with Bud Light, she's heading over to Cracker Barrel.
We're gonna go have a Bud Light with the people that work at Cracker Barrel. So things fixed up.
Synergy.
Yeah. Bleedingfool.com, at Bleedingfool, or at Chris Brawley. You can, if you care about any of my thoughts on this and other topics. Thank you for attention.
Well, you guys
Thank
cover
you
a
for
lot
your
of stuff
attention to
over
this matter. Yes.
All the fun stuff. And then we got Paul. What do you got going on?
Well, you can watch 2 videos, my review of Peacemaker episode 1, and also on Call Me Chado is my TV guide video. So please support that. It gets the fewest views, but the most love. And so that's there. And also, because I have a background in logo design and branding, I've designed more than 100 logos myself, and I've designed my own typefaces for Letraset. And I worked for branding companies that were involved in $1 million rebrandings of multinational companies. I believe I have some insight into the Cracker Barrel thing, which I'm going to go way more deeply than most people are, because the chattering class really don't understand what's going on with this. I don't necessarily agree fully, but I do think they missed the mark. But the idea that the original logo should not have been changed, I think, is wrong, because it's a mess and is not.
I agree with you.
It's not really made for the digital age. But I do think they went too far. And to tell you the truth, I've seen now the interiors of, because I've never been to a Cracker Barrel. I've seen now photos of the interior of the original Cracker Barrel restaurants and some of the new ones, and they're atrocious. And I've done some research on the CEO. She comes from Taco Bell and had a massive hand in increase in the sales and marketing of Taco Bell. So I'm trying to do a deep dive further into why or how she got.
Maybe it's the right person and wrong product. Perhaps.
Yeah, obviously.
Because I see where you're coming from. Because my background too, like I saw the logo change. I'm like, I don't disagree with them changing their logo. I just see where people are having the reaction to it. Because that was like
people because I mean, let me tell you, people hate any change in logo.
Of course.
It doesn't matter. People are really resistant to brand change, but I think they might have gone a little bit too far. But both in conjunction with the new design of the interiors, as well as the logo. So I want to do some more research on the CEO and where she came from and why she's doing what she's doing. And obviously, I mean, the big news is they probably spent millions of dollars on this stupidity. Pepsi, which I won't get into it. I know the history of the previous logo, and it's hilarious.
They put it sideways or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, the one with the swoosh that kind of squeezed and got thin and everything else. And I, at one point, I had the branding explanation pitch slides for that logo, and the language is hilarious. So I want to go over that. I want to go over her publicity tour that she did on Good Morning America. I think, I can't remember what it was, but and that they screwed up because she was using design language, not human language, when she was describing the changes. She was using industry standard language from the branding community, which I found really off-putting. This has been a disaster from the beginning, not necessarily the idea of it, but its execution of it. So I'm going to get into it from that.
I can't wait to hear that.
It'll be a completely boring video that no one will watch. but I'm going to
because I have a similar background, but I obviously don't have nearly the experience you do. But the only thing is, I don't know about you and logos, because every logo you've shown me that you designed looks like a penis.
Well, you have to have a style. You got to be known for a certain look.
The last part was a joke, of course. But no, I can't wait to see that video. It sounds very interesting, actually, from somebody.
You never negate an improv moment.
Take care there, Chris. But we're going to head out of here. But I think real quick, Six sent me this. This refers to the Gunn thing. I think what he went is Gunn tells Crew Call that while his original intention was to write season 2 of Peacemaker before Superman, that whole plan changed once he took the reins at DC. The whole blueprint for the multidimensional universe and Superman wound up playing a big role in Smith's future storyline, which Gunn wrote post Superman. That's what he meant. And I get, okay, so that may be what you meant. Let me know if that's for sure. If not, just hit me up. I think that's probably what you meant.
It's just the two of us. Bye, folks. Oh,
yeah, take care, and I'll get the rest of these super chats if you got to go.
I got to go.
Bye,
everyone.
Me. Bye. Then we got Etereal, who says, Tom, Andre, when will the member stream be? Hopefully soon. I'll try to pin Andre down maybe for this weekend. If not, maybe the Tuesday before I leave on vacation. And then Mr. Tickle Trunk says, you're right, Paul, but I'm excited to watch it. Well, he just left. So check that out, guys, and thank you for being here. Take care of yourselves and each other. And as Andre always says, it is time for Koalas in the Rain. Thanks again, guys.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given.